Now that it's summertime, there's a lot more parties going on. But where I live, Arizona, it's really hot outside, like 115. And so no one wants to go outside and spend any time out there playing the traditional outdoor summer party games. So I thought it'd be cool if I shrunk down some of those games so we could play them indoors in the air conditioning. And what better game to start with than the infamous Cornhole? A cool part about this project is you're probably not going to have to buy much, if anything at all. Here I have some scrap pine wood that is 6mm thick, and this is all the wood I'm going to need to construct the cornholes. Each hole is comprised of 5 different pieces, and I've put information about each piece on this diagram. So let's get our scrap piece of pine and get busy cutting them out. And so now with all the different pieces cut out, we can take some wood glue and begin to glue it all together. It's looking pretty nice, but I want it to be perfect, so I'm going to take some wood filler and just fill in any cracks or crevices we may find. Now we can go ahead and give this thing a light sanding, round off some of the edges and so forth. It really shouldn't take much. And with that, it's painting time. For full-size cornhole, I've noticed people typically just paint on the logo to their favorite sports team, which is like really lame and boring. So instead, I'm just gonna paint on a groovy design.
Groovy.
Now I'm trying to go with a slightly aged and weathered cornhole set, so I'm going to take some very fine sandpaper and just ever so lightly sand this thing down. Now to give this thing just a little bit more definition, I'm going to take a Sharpie and just simply outline everything we painted. Oh, and we don't want to forget about the bottom, so I'm just going to go ahead and paint it a dark gray, because why not? And apparently we're just going to paint right over that sticker, so whoops. And to finish this thing off, we're just going to slap on a coat of polyurethane. Now for the bean bags. Here is some fabric I picked up at Walmart. So what I'm going to do is mark a 3/4 inch by 1.5 inch section and then cut it out. We'll then fold a little piece of each end, and then we can glue them together using fabric glue. And I'm using this little office binder to kind of help clamp it in place while it dries. I'm then going to take my scissors and just cut off the very tip of all the little corners so it's a little bit more rounded. This way it'll go into the cornhole holes a little bit easier. Now following that, we're going to want to fold in 2 more flaps just like we did previously. I'm using this little cardboard form because I feel it makes it a little bit easier, but as you can see, it's still pretty difficult.
It's not easy.
But once we've managed to do it, we can go ahead and glue and clamp those together like we did previously. And with that, we should only have one opened end of the bag. And so we can go ahead and open up the bag. And since it's so tiny, it's very difficult.
It's not easy.
And I'm then going to take 7 metal BBs and drop them into the bag. And once all the BBs are in there, we can go ahead and close up the bag just like we did twice before. And lastly, we've come to the cleanup phase. I'm just going to take my scissors and cut off any stray pieces we may have, and then take some glue and seal up any tiny little holes that may be left. And with that, it's just a matter of repeating this process for however many bean bags you want. And with that, the bean bags are done and the cornholes are complete, so I think it's time for a game. Just remember when playing, your fingers cannot pass the front of your cornhole. They have to stay behind that line. Otherwise, you could just reach straight over and drop it in the hole.
Hooray!
And so I did actually take these to a party, and I took this to this particular party as almost like a joke. I was like,
hey guys, I brought cornhole. We might have to move around some of the furniture to make it fit.
you know, and then I popped out these little tiny guys. But we started playing them and we actually got like sucked in. Like, it's fun, but it's difficult enough to score points that it's like addicting. And then of course the goober you're playing against scores a point on you before you can him, so you start getting stressed out and panicking and sweating, and it's a mess. I realize I'm just kind of describing cornhole in general. But regardless, it was actually a lot of fun, and I'm really glad I made it. But what do you guys think? Is it cool? Is it lame? Is there another game I should shrink down in the future? Let me know in the comments below. But hey, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you did enjoy this video, and if you did, please feel free to hit the thumbs up and subscribe. But if you didn't, please feel free to hit the thumbs down and send me a death threat. Lord willing, I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching, and please feel free to subscribe.